Hello, ARMY lovers. It revealed a secret that has been buried in silence, hidden from the camera spotlight, untouched by any media, and not even revealed by the most loyal fans. One name, one figure, one soul that for years has been referred to as BTS's golden magne, is now revealing the deepest side of himself that makes the golden label not just a matter of sound, appearance, or dance. That name, Alasan Jungkook, is not just an idol. It is a phenomenon. It's a puzzle. And today, that puzzle is beginning to unravel in a way no one ever imagined. Not because of medals, not because of awards, nor because of the achievements of the international stage, but for one fact, which Jungkook himself has been secretly keeping to himself about who he really is and why the world should stop admiring him just from what appears on the surface. That BTS has become a global force. They changed the world. But not all of the 7 members of this group bear the same burden. Not everyone has the same injury. Not everyone has the same way to hide it. And behind Jungkook's seemingly perfect smile, hidden wounds that never get headlines in the media, never talked about bluntly in documentaries, nor indulged in concerts. Jungkook harbors something deeper, sharper, and more sincere than just talent. He harbors the courage to be golden, not because he is perfect, but because he dares to hide his suffering to make others smile. The public is blinded by statistics. How many views in an hour? How many Billboard charts did he break? How many international awards did he bring home? There was one thing that no one, not even ARMY, knew until a production staff member who has worked with BTS since their debut revealed this shocking fact. Jungkook is the only member who has never asked for a break during rehearsals for days on end. Not because he wanted to look strong, but because he was afraid the other members would feel inadequate. And this is where the controversy exploded. The golden magne, which has been considered the most pampered, the most hailed, turned out to be the most silent, the most saving, the most shouldering. It carries the whole pressure of fame not as pride, but as debt. A debt to his parents whom he left behind as a teenager, a debt to the fans who put their hopes in him, and even a debt to the members he considers his brothers, although he never expresses fear of being abandoned or defeated by them. Jungkook doesn't want to be the best. He just doesn't want to be a burden. And it was from here that he became a true golden. When the media is busy photographing his arm full of tattoos, or his hair that changes color every season, no one knows that behind every ink design on his body, there is a personal story that is so heartbreaking. The ARMY tattoo is not just a symbol of the fan base. It was a reminder that he was there for the love of others, and that he had to keep standing, even when he wanted to give up. Jungkook never stopped singing not because he was hungry for popularity, but because he knew there were millions of young people who were feeling lost, and only his voice could possibly be an anchor in the storm of their emotions. His voice is a prayer, not a showed in an interview that was never aired because it was deemed too personal. Jungkook said quietly, "Sometimes I ask, am I really human? Because every little decision I make becomes a world affair." The sentence was withheld by the agency, censored, stored in a secret drawer that never opens. But now, when more and more pressure is coming on him, when rumors about depression and insomnia begin to spread from behind the scenes, the world begins to realize that the real meaning of golden is not so much about achievements, but about the resilience to hide wounds with the most sincere smile. Not many people know that during BTS's debut era, Jungkook often slept in the rehearsal room. Not because he didn't have a place to live, but because he didn't want to waste a second of his time developing. He tortured himself. No vocal coach told her to practice until her hoarse voice was heard behind the dorm toilet. It was his own will. When the other members asked him to take a break, he simply replied, "If I fail, I will never be able to see their eyes again." He's not a perfectionist because he's obsessed. He is a perfectionist for fear of disappointment. And that's where the big question that everyone has been avoiding arises. Are we too demanding of Jungkook to be perfect? Is the nickname Golden Magne actually a curse that he swallowed himself? We applaud Jungkook's ability to dance like a machine, sing like an angel, and look like a god. But we never ask, how are you? When BTS members one by one chose to take a break, go on hiatus, or pull out of the spotlight, Jungkook kept going. Tours, global collaborations, and solo comebacks that rocked the industry. Even as rumors about his mental state spread, fans simply responded with "he must be strong." But who knew that behind the scenes, Jungkook once sat alone in the studio for hours, staring silently at the lit monitor screen, while holding back tears so as not to tarnish his reputation as the mascot of happiness. The reason Jungkook is called a true golden is not because he never fails, but because he failed many times and chose not to show it. When he performed on stage and looked calm, few knew that his heart rate reached 120 BPM due to a panic attack. When he made a live video to greet fans, no one knew that he had just locked himself for 2 days in an apartment because of anxiety. And none of that was ever news. It was never the main discussion, because the world only wants to see the miracle, not the wound that created the miracle. But today, all changed. Today, we have to start being honest that Jungkook is not just another golden by industry standards. He is golden because he is a human being who is able to swallow wounds and still shine light on others. He is golden because when everyone stops believing in the world, he still creates a world worth believing in through his music, movement, and silence. And when someone asks, what is the real reason Jungkook is called a true golden? Then the answer is not in the YouTube footage, it's not in the Billboard Awards, it's not even in the army poems. The answer is in the way he survives, in the way he loves without speaking, in a way she cried silently and kept saying, "I'm okay." And that's why there will be no media that can write it perfectly. Because Jungkook is not a story to be consumed. It's a story to ponder.